Hello everyone, we are back here with a new video, and if you remember in our last SQL Failover cluster series, we have created this clustered shared volume, and also we have did couple of configuration here in our Windows Failover cluster test and validation process. So until here everything is clear. Now to proceed further with our SQL Failover cluster installation, we have to have two things as I told in our last call, that is service account and SQL Server service account with agent service account, and also if you are going for analysis services service account, so you can create that on the go. Okay, let me proceed further with that. So you can just visit this article as well as I told here, and you can follow the steps on how to do that. Let me first create the users, and then we'll make sure that this particular users are part of our local administrative groups. So what does it mean by local administrative groups? You can see that I have three different VMs, and these three VMs are going to be part of my SQL failover cluster. Okay, so whatever account I'm going to create, SQL server service account or agent, those accounts should be part of this particular machine local groups and policies. We'll show you that within a minute. Also there is a Microsoft document as well, not Microsoft, there is a document which you can use to perform this volume maintenance task security policy using GPU. Okay, you can do GPU as well, so you can check this document on how to do that. Basically you have to create OU, you can say like a group, and then we have to create service account, you have to put it in particular group, and then we should force this using GP policy. But in this video we are not going to do that. If you want you can do that. We'll just basically directly add by logging in each of the machines, and we'll manually add that. Okay, let me show you that. First let me go back to my domain controller and minimize this to avoid any sort of confusion. Okay, so this is my domain controller. I will open Active Directory users and computers. So you can just look for users and computer, it will pop up here. Click on that. Okay, once this part is done, let me create a group. So as you can see I have a organization unit, basically it is called OU, organizational unit. So you can just right click on this KTT or your domain, whatever domain, and you can just hit new, and you can create organizational unit. Okay, it is not required, you can create groups as well under any of the folder like built-in or users, or you can create a organizational unit as I told. So already I have created one organizational unit which is called DB admins. So under this DB admins I'm hitting new, I will hit user, and I will give a name. So this is my SQL agent account, so I'll name this as SQL agent, and this will be my account. Okay, once this is done, SQL agent SVC, which is a service account, SQL agent SVC, which is I'm going to use for our SQL agent, and the login will be like this: SQL agent SVC, SQL agent SVC, and I will hit next. Then I will give a password here. Now you have to make sure whatever password you give here, it should not be set to expire. You should make sure that it is checked, this particular box is checked, password never expires. Otherwise in future if password expires, it will the failover cluster will fail and it will not work. That is the reason. Once you do that, hit next, and SQL agent SVC will hit finish. So our SQL agent account has been created, service account. Now we have to create one more, that is for our SQL service SVC. Okay, SQL service SVC, and I will hit next, and I will give a password, and as I told, we have to put it as password never expire. Once this is done, hit next, and it will create SQL service SVC. So two accounts has been created. Now we should create one particular group and make sure that all these are in same group. Okay, because what happens is I can't manually look for all these service accounts, and manually one by one I can't add. So I'll just put in one particular group, and I will allow the local administrative groups and policies to access this particular account. Okay, so let me create one particular group. So I'll mention as group, and I will put this in particular, or you can just already it is part of group, which is DB admins. I can add this particular group as well directly without any problem. Or if you want to create one, you can create that as well. If you are not creating an OU, so you can just name here like DBA admins, and global leave it default, And if you open this particular group, click on members, hit add, and then look for that SQL accounts one by one. So check names. So I'll select all. I will hit OK. And I think so we are missing one more, which is SSAS. So it is this service account add. Oh, sorry about that. So I think so already 3 accounts has been added. Hit add and OK. Let me add this group as a part of our domain admin. So this is done, hit OK and apply, and now we can access this particular group in all our VMs and configure the local group policies. Okay, let me go back to my this particular website, and as you can see here we have to open GP edit in our Windows search, and then edit group policy, and we have to perform this particular task. Now, as I told, either you can manually add this similar to this, which we are going to do, or you can do the group policy update as well. As you can see, there are 2 ways to do this. The second one is by using group policy management. So we can just deploy this particular GPO to our server machines. Okay. So currently I have only server machines. Let me apply the GPO. Probably it is very easy to log into this local groups and administrative part. I mean to say the edit local groups and users. So this is very simple. So first thing we have to, as I told, we have to add this particular accounts in our local administrator, and then we can update the group policies. Let me open my machine one by one. So first I will target on my SQL machine. Let me look for edit users and group. So I have to search edit users and group. If I open this, it will prompt me, just hit 2 groups, and once you're clicking on groups, click on administrators. Once you do that, you have to hit add, and we have to look for that particular group which we have created. So it was DBA, if I'm not wrong. Yeah, this is the one. So it is DBA admins. So I'll hit OK, and this is already added, and then hit OK. So this is I have done for one particular machine, which is SQL way. Now I have to do for other VMs as well, which are going to be part of my SQL failover cluster. Okay. Let me minimize this, then look for edit users and group. So as you can see, this is the one. Let me do the same thing for this as well. You can click on administrator, and then here, then we have DBA, check names. We got the DBA admins, hit apply and hit OK. Okay, this is done. Now let me go back to my third VM, the third node I mean to say, and that edit users and group. So this is the one. Let me open this and go back to administrator groups, and then add that particular user here, as you can see in my scenario. Okay, so this part is done. Hit apply and OK. Okay, so all these 3 steps has been done. I mean to say, like in 3 nodes I have added the local SQL service accounts or agent account or SSAS account, which are going to be part of my SQL failover cluster. The second step is our perform column maintenance security policy, which I'm going to do via group policy. Okay, you can do it locally as well, but I will recommend you to do create an OU for your servers, and then you can perform this GPU on this particular OU. But you can, for best scenarios, you can just follow this document on how to do that. It is really easy. Let me go back to my document, and here you can see I will open my group policy editor from the domain controller. As you remember that all my SQL machines are domain joined. So what I will do is I will apply one particular GPO. That GPO will do is it will just perform, I mean to say not perform, like it will add the particular users which we just created to this particular perform volume maintenance task security policy. We'll show you that in a minute. Okay, so what you have to do is first you have to go to your domain controller. I will open my local groups, not local, like group policy management. And in your case, this will be your domain controller. As you can see, in my case, it is ktt.yt. And if you want, you can create new one. Just double click on this or right click, and you can create a GPO in this domain and link it here. But what I will do is, as it is lab scenario, I am going to edit my existing policy, but you should do it newly for your respective OUs. Okay, OUs means if I refresh this particular page, as you can see, the recently OU which I have created, what DB servers and DB admins. So you can put all your servers under this OU and just apply that particular policy. Okay, but I'm going to edit my default policy, which you have to, generally we should not do that. So what I'll do is I will click on edit, and under this, let me expand this particular column so that I can explain you a bit clear about this, or I'll just maximize this window. Okay, so under this what you have to do is, if you go to my document, computer configuration, Windows settings, security policy, so computer configuration, and under this you will find this particular volume maintenance. Let me look for that. Where is it? Okay, you can see here it is like perform volume maintenance task, which is not defined. You have to double click on this, define this policy, add users or group. So as I told, we have to add that particular DBA group which we have created, or you can add the users as well one by one. So in my case, it is DBA admins, and also I want to put for domain administrators as well. Let me put that as well. Okay, and once this part is done, I will hit OK. So generally it is not recommended for you to put administrator, because you will be using environment which is in production or for some company. Just for lab scenario I'm doing this, because I'm going to create other videos as well. That is the reason I'm trying to add here, but it is not required. You can just add this. Okay, so once this is done, hit OK. So you will see your group or user, whichever is going to be part of your SQL failover cluster service account, and hit OK, hit apply. Once this is done, you make sure that it is present here. Now what you have to do is, you have to run this particular gp update command, to apply these changes immediately. Okay, the changes will take effect immediately. So I'm doing it in my domain controller, but you have to do it in all your SQL failover cluster machine. Okay, this way. So let me do the same in my SQL A, SQL FC, and sqlb. Okay, quickly let me open command prompt. So as I told, we have to do it for all the machines. So for this machine I have done, let me open this as well. Now command prompt, then we have our gp update slash force, and once this is done, all the policies will take effect immediately, and now we are good to go to install our SQL failover cluster. Okay, we have all the prerequisites, we have everything. Windows failover is configured, we have the service account, heartbeat network is working in the backend, iSCSI disk is configured. Okay, now before installing, we have to do one thing which I will show you in next video, which is not mandatory. The reason being is simple. I want to install multiple SQL instance, as you remember if you have watched my previous video. So what I can do is, I will create folders in this particular volumes. Okay, so that I can install multiple instances. So this is volume 1, volume 2, and volume 3. So this is data disk, this is temp, and this is log. So under this I will be creating data disk 1, data disk 1, data disk 2, data disk 3, depending on the number of SQL failover cluster instances I am going to install. And under this log I am going to create a, but to avoid any sort of confusion, I will just create one folder, so that you should get familiar how this works, and then I will create second folder for my second instance. Okay, so this is just the freshly installation, and I'm going to do for default instance, my SQL Server failover installation for default instance, and then I will show you for named instance by creating one more folder and installing in this particular volumes. So I hope you got the idea. Once we start the SQL failover cluster installation, okay, I think so that is our next step. If I go down here, if you see here install SQL Server on Windows failover cluster on node 1, that is SQL A. Once we install this, we'll add this particular node to our failover cluster. And as I told, I'm going to install two different installation, which is going to be named instance and default instance. You can check out this document as well. Okay, in next video I'll show you how to download the ISO and then create folders and then install this particular thing. To stay updated on the SQL failover cluster series, please subscribe to my channel and hit that bell icon to get the latest update. We'll see you in next upcoming videos in our SQL failover cluster series.